It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the FAU assistant baseball coach, Greg Mamula. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Brandon. Thank you.
Can you talk about your coaching experience and how you got started?
Sure. Well, I grew up the son of a high school baseball coach, grew up in Western Pennsylvania, Brandon, and I've always had a passion for baseball. Obviously, growing up, it was playing the game. And then when my college career came to an end, which I played at St. Bonaventure University, a little Division I school in Western New York, I wasn't good enough to play professional baseball. So at that point, the best way for me to stay into baseball was to coach it. And I did that at the college level. So I immediately, as soon as I graduated college, I became a grad assistant coach at Shippensburg University, a little Division II school in Pennsylvania. After being there for 3 years as a grad assistant, I was fortunate to get a job at the University of Delaware. Was at the University of Delaware for 5 years. After being at Delaware for 5 years, I got hired as a head coach at a Division II school outside of Philadelphia, that being Westchester University. Was there 3 years and got an assistant coaching job at the University of Cincinnati. Was there for 4 years. Head coach at Cincinnati got let go after the 2013 season. I, in turn, was out of a job, was out of baseball for a year. Got back in by going to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida. Coached there for 1 year and then was fortunate to get hired out of IMG into my current position here at Florida Atlantic. This is my 6th year. Beginning my 6th year as an assistant coach at Florida Atlantic University. So it's been a long, windy road, as they usually are in this profession, but one that I wouldn't change, Brandon.
Can you talk about your time at Delaware as the assistant coach and recruitment coordinator?
Yeah, no, it was really, it was my second stop again, but it's really what jump-started me on a number of different levels in my career. When I got there, they needed a young, energetic guy to run around and recruit. So I got a ton of valuable recruiting experience, made a lot of mistakes recruiting, had a lot of successes recruiting. And that's how we learn in this sport, is from doing and from our failures and our successes. So got to go out and run all over the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast, trying to recruit players to Delaware. So that was valuable. The other thing that was key for me is I was a infielder as a player, Brandon. The job that was open at Delaware was for a pitching coach. So it forced me to learn a side of the game that I really never played or had never really coached up until that point. And the pitchers, as I like to joke, the pitchers at Delaware paid the price, for getting a former infielder being their pitching coach, where I, quite frankly, was not very good at it in the beginning and felt like by the end I had a much better grasp for it. It's something that has really helped me become more well-rounded as a baseball coach. So that was, from my side of it. But as far as the University of Delaware goes, it's a storied program that has been to the NCAA tournament a number of times, has actually been to the College World Series one time, that being, I believe, 1970, has had a lot of former big leaguers run through there. So just a storied program. I got to work for the guy that's still the current head coach there, Jim Sherman, who was a great mentor and has become a great friend to me. And I certainly wouldn't be where I am today without Sherm's help and guidance.
Can you talk about your time at Westchester in the fall of 2006?
Yeah, no, I was the head coach at Westchester for 3 years. Again, went from the University of Delaware up to Westchester, which the two schools are only, I don't even know, 40 miles apart, not far at all. But Westchester, again, another great experience for me. There 3 years, we had a lot of success. We won a lot of games. My last year in 2009, we made it to the Division II World Series. I believe we arrived there on like a 17-game win streak, cruised through the conference tournament, the regional, got there, and unfortunately went 0-2 at the World Series. But again, a great experience, a lot of great players, really unique situation in that, being a state school in Pennsylvania, about the entire roster were Pennsylvania kids, basically from that part of Pennsylvania, kind of a middle class, blue collar to stereotype of players, guys that just love playing and love baseball and love being around each other. It was as much fun as I've ever had on the baseball field, just coaching or playing with a group of guys. And then obviously it helped that we won. We had good players, and it was just a great situation, great people, great place, great university. Really have fond memories of my time at Westchester.
What have you learned in your time of being at Cincinnati?
Sure. Well, I was at Cincinnati for 4 years, worked under just a great guy, Brian Cleary. And really the thing I take away from Brian that I always carry with me is his organization, just tremendously organized. The program was tremendously organized from an office standpoint to a practice standpoint. I'll always carry that with me. The other thing is the way that Brian treated us as assistants, me as an assistant, my family, the way he treated the players, the recruits, all those people. Those are the things I really gained from Cincinnati. Again, another special place, a great athletic department at Cincinnati, and a good experience for me as well.
During your time at FAU, what have you accomplished?
We've accomplished a lot. This is a winning program. As we like to tell recruits, of the 13 Division I programs in the state of Florida, we have the 4th highest winning percentage since 1999. You can probably guess the 3 schools branded in front of us, that being Florida State, Miami, Florida, and then us, Florida Atlantic. So we're proud of that because it shows that we win, but more importantly, we win consistently year in, year out. And we're most proud of the way that we do it and how we treat the players and the experience we're able to provide our student athletes, our baseball players here at FAU. So a lot of success, a lot of winning. We've been to the regional 3 of the last 4 years that they've had a regional. We've won our conference 2 of the last 4 years. So I've had a lot of on-field success, have moved a lot of guys on to professional baseball. And again, just a great place to work, to coach, to play.
Can you talk about the 2020 season as that got cut short? How was that for y'all?
Really left a sour taste in my mouth, and I believe most people in this program's mouth, because I felt like we were underachieving, specifically from the offensive end. I'm the hitting coach. Felt like we had a really talented offense, and we never really hit our stride offensively before the shutdown. So it was kind of frustrating. We were 10-6. We played a really good schedule, but it just hadn't felt right offensively. And I felt like we were just getting there. If we could have just had another week or 2, I think our offense really would have taken off. And, Ben, who met the expectations of what we had for them. So just kind of have this sour taste that is going to help us heading into this preseason, into the start of the 2021 season, where our offense is hungry and wants to prove that we're, one of the most talented offenses in the country.
As you talk about the 2021 season, what do y'all look forward to accomplishing?
Yeah, there's so much uncertainty, right, with what the season's going to look like. Here we are less than 2 months away from what's supposed to be opening day, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So the focus has to be, as a coach, as a player, controlling the things we can control, being ready for whenever that opening game comes, wherever it's going to be, whoever it's going to be against. So that's going to be the key, part of a coach, is having the guys ready to go and ready to win and have success right away. And whatever the season holds, if we play 30 games, if we play 50 games, regular season, whatever it may be, being ready to be the best team, the best offense, the winningest program we can be, in hopes that however the postseason looks and however it's picked, that we get included with, the conference tournament, obviously, and the NCAA tournament. So we can give these guys the opportunity to, meet the goals of this program to hopefully get to a super regional and then to Omaha.
As a former recruitment coordinator, how have you took that into your job now at FAU and the recruitment process like?
Sure. No, I'm the recruiting coordinator here. And that's just really a title because all the coaches have a hand in it. We all go out and recruit and hustle and work hard when the NCAA allows us, Brandon. So it's just really a title for me, maybe to help organize it a little bit better for the other coaches if I can, with our recruiting list, that sort of thing. But, we have a great opportunity here for recruits, with the success of the program and again, the way we treat them. I feel like there's a lot of positives that are offered at Florida Atlantic. So it's an easy place to recruit talented players too. Talented players want to win, they want to develop, and we're able to offer, those things with a great experience to our recruits.
What does the day-to-day look like as a recruitment coordinator?
Sure. Again, it's about being organized when we are able to be out and recruit, making sure we're at the right places. There's in the state of Florida and basically everywhere nowadays, there's tournaments every weekend and all throughout the summer. So it's important we pick the right tournaments so we're watching the right players. You can go to a tournament that might have 100 teams, but there's no good players there. That's probably an exaggeration. You can go to another tournament that might have 16 teams and a lot of good players. So it's about picking where the good players are, the players that could be potential fits for us. So it's about organizing that, where we're going. It's about organizing what our needs are in each particular recruiting class, organizing the scholarship money, organizing the calls, organizing the visits. Those are, the important things to make sure we're filtering down to get the best possible players, best possible young men, students, all those things that we can.
What does the official visit look like as the recruitment coordinator at FAU?
Yeah, we do our official visits a little different. We like our recruits, when they're able to by NCAA rules, to come on an unofficial visit, and spend a lot of time getting to know them and their families, and in turn having them get to know us. Because as always, their experience when they get here, good or bad, is going to be because of the people. So we want to get to know them. We want them to get to know us. We save our official visits. Brandon, you can only do one for each recruit. So we like to wait until our guys are committed. And then during that fall of that senior year, bring all of our guys who are committed together on the same weekend to let them get to know each other. Spend a couple days in a hotel. We do it with a home football game. So the guys get to eat meals together, go to the football game together, get to see the campus together. So they can start to build a friendship and bond with those guys that they're going to play with for the next 3-4 years at FAU. So that's how we like to do and when we like to do our official visits.
That's wonderful. What advice would you give for future college baseball players looking to play college baseball?
Yeah, number one, love the sport, because you're going to play it and practice it more than you ever have when you get to college. And if you don't have a true passion for playing and practicing the sport, you're not going to have a good experience doing it. So make sure this is something you love and have a passion for. Make sure, again, you're picking, Brandon, the right people to surround yourself with. I think that often gets overlooked in the recruiting process. I think that a lot of recruits underestimate how important the people that they're going to be surrounded with are when they get to that place, meaning the coaches, the players, the strength coach, the academic advisor. Those people are what are going to make your experience good or bad. The campus matters, the facilities matter, but not nearly as much as the people.
What advice would you give upcoming future college coaches looking to get into the industry?
Yeah. Number one, get out and work. That being work on the recruiting trail, get out and recruit as much as you can, be seen, work hard to help your program get better that you're working at. When you get that first job, work as many camps. The other part of it that I would tell you is when you're out recruiting, working camps, that is your job interview in this profession. You're constantly being evaluated by the other head coaches, the other assistant coaches. They're forming opinions of you while you're out recruiting and working camps. So always know that it's a constant job interview, that your next job is probably going to be because of the impression you've left working camps and out recruiting. I would also highly encourage future potential coaches to become a head coach. That's when we learn the most about ourselves. as coaches is when we get that opportunity to be a head coach, you learn through your failures, through your successes, and you're able to grow. We're all guilty as young head coaches when you first get that opportunity of thinking you're more prepared than you actually are, and reality sets in, Brandon, when you get that opportunity to be a head coach for the first time. So in our sport, the easiest way to do that is through summer collegiate leagues, where young coaches can go out and be a head coach for 8-10 weeks during the summer of college baseball players. And again, that for me, I was able to do that. Shoot, I was 23, maybe 24 years old. I was able to be a head coach of a summer collegiate league. And I left that summer thinking, man, I am not prepared for this at all. Being a head coach, I have a lot to learn. It was a great eye-opening experience. We're guilty again as young coaches is thinking we're more prepared, better than we are. So that would be, the key advice. And then the other part, and you'll hear this from everybody you talk to, is be where your feet are as a young assistant coach when you get that first job. And what that means, what that looks like is do everything your boss asks you to do, be loyal to your boss, and make it all about helping those players in that program become the best possible. Because if you take care of those things, that your responsibilities at your job, it's probably going to lead to your next job. So looking ahead to that next job and not putting in 100% focus, attention, loyalty on your current job is certainly not going to help you get that next job.
That's wonderful advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with FAU baseball program at?
I'm Twitterless, I'm Instagramless. There's, I guess, really no way to find me. I would tell you the best way to get a hold of me is through email, which my email address is listed on our FAU website, either by going to the roster and clicking my name or going on our staff directory. I like to think that I can respond to, I do respond to everybody's email. As long as it's addressed to me or somebody in our coaching staff, I'll respond to it. But certainly happy to help any young aspiring coaches, and certainly happy to answer any questions any recruits have via email, Brandon.
That's wonderful. Thank you again, Greg, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at FAU.
Thank you, Brandon. Enjoyed it, man.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Greg, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.